senior here at Del Valle High School, and this is my partner.
My name is Joaquin Cruz, and I'm also a senior.
And we're very happy to be presenting our first project today on the Armenian genocide. With that, would you like for us to...
Good morning. My name is Chuck Courtney. I'm the Associate Director for the Annette Strauss Institute.
And my name is Gina Tillis. I am the First Year Experience Coordinator at Houston-Tillotson University. Good morning.
And whenever y'all are ready to start, we're ready to listen.
Well, thanks for so much for your time taken out of your day to judge us. And would you like for us to begin with our problem speech as well as proceed with the PowerPoint in the background as we're speaking, or would you prefer for us to just speak to you in general?
I would like the speech.
Okay.
Your bandwidth is low.
All right. I, Joaquin Cruz, will be delivering the first speech on the Armenian genocide. Right. On May the 5th, 2015, we began with a simple hello, good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. Thanks to some wonderful technology, we are gathered all over the world to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Armenian genocide.
Excuse me?
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I think that because it says that the network bandwidth is low and it's hard to understand you. It's coming through broken up.
All right. Okay, yeah, we're having some issues with network. We could try Skype.
Or we can. Yeah, we could also try to call you maybe, and then we could look at the PowerPoint as you walk us through it if you'd like to do that.
Okay, we would do whatever you like to do.
Okay, I'll call Mr. Cunningham back and we'll pull up your PowerPoint.
Okay.
Or they can stay there. We can just look at them.
Oh, okay.
All right. I'm just going to start over.
May the 5th, 2015, we began with the simple hello.
If you can mute yourself on that end, and we'll mute ourselves on this end, we'll just go to speaker. Another way you can still see us. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I said if you could go mute on your end for a second so we can get the speech, and then we'll go mute on our end and we'll just do a speakerphone. Other than that, we're going to hear a bunch of reverberation.
Oh, gotcha.
Good afternoon and good morning. Thanks to some wonderful technology, we are gathered all over the world to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Armenian genocide. The purpose of this project was to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Armenian genocide and to bring this information to a group of students who had not heard about this previously. My name is Joaquin Cruz. Along with my partner Jacob Shaw and many others today, we are excited about this opportunity. You may ask yourself, how can a person in Del Valle be excited? It was just a short 53 generations ago that St. Gregory, the Illuminator's efforts, Armenia became the first Christian nation in 301 and became the first Catholics of the Armenian Church. In honor of him and many other Armenians who followed, we would like to dedicate this video conference project to the preservation of their faith, the remembrance of heritage, and the purpose that God has in their life. We were very humbled to be here today, and very much aware that the history of Armenia is a shared history of their relatives, their faith in Christ, and their love in him. Today, we will show the world what it means to be an Armenian now and what it meant to be an Armenian 100 years ago. We invited schools from all over the world to join us today. However, we chose a high school in Taiwan to showcase because they had not heard about the genocide before this project. We wanted to see what the effects would be from studying about this on the students participating. These schools are the symbols of the future leaders of the world, and the symbol that Armenia is not just a country, not just a way of life, but a little part of every country today. As Armenians scattered to the four corners of the world, we cannot forget those who had to endure the ultimate price for their faith. To this end, we have dedicated this video conference. On June 12, 1987, standing in front of the Brandenburg Gate and Berlin Wall as a background, a defiant President Ronald Reagan addressed the crowd gathered to celebrate the 750th anniversary of the Berlin Wall of Berlin when he said, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." Today, as descendants of Armenian ancestors, we must demand our president and leaders of other countries to do the same. The difference is that this wall is a mental one we have built up in our minds. We cannot do something that is right simply because it may hurt us politically. Once we have hurt us politically, being afraid of the truth has not and will not be acceptable. We cannot wait another 100 years. We want justice now and forever after. Today, I call upon all the leaders of the world to say a new word with me. It is difficult to say. Many leaders have trouble pronouncing it. Today, we will learn all about it: genocide. We need to say it and we need to recognize it. You see, it's only through doing this that it will never happen again. To this end, we created a project that first connected more than 13 schools all around the world with Genocide Museum in Yerevan, Armenia. Second, helped us learn a great deal more about the Armenian genocide. Worked with partner schools in Peru, Armenia, and Taiwan. Fourth, created an ICC moot court case. Fifth, met with the religious leaders of Armenia and government officials from Armenia and Taiwan on this subject. Six, we created a 3-hour video program, PowerPoint presentations, and had press coverage in both Armenia and Taiwan. May God bless Armenia and all of the Armenian people all over the world.
Many people may look at this situation this way. It took place 100 years ago. Is that a problem for politicians? It is a problem for historians. For those people, I say no. No, no, no. We created a solution. The problem was ignorance and not caring. The answer was awareness. We created awareness by inviting others to join us and inviting their Minister of Education to join in on the project as well. We used a school in Taiwan to show the world that once presented with the facts, people will change their minds and stand up against genocide. We are approaching the 5th generation of children who have been born to terrible events that began on April 24th of 1915. That is 5 generations who have not been able to hear the truth. 5 generations who have been forced to believe in a lie. And 5 generations who stop at nothing to pressure others to accept the truth. I ask you, shouldn't the truth matter? Do you not want to teach our children the truth? Why are you worried about people learning the truth if you have nothing to hide? The only possible reason is a simple one. Your position in this conflict cannot stand the light of day. This problem has to be a priority to stop. The longer we wait, the longer we fail to stop another genocide. There, I used the G word. It is amazing that we talk about genocide and make it sound almost surgical. We think it was a lesson in history, that it was surreal, that it was insignificant. Those last words were almost exactly what another political leader told its leaders when they were preparing for another genocide. When you create a genocide against one group of people, you do it against all people. This is the lesson we should be teaching our children. We teach our children that you should not discriminate against other people because of their race, color, national origin, religion, or gender. Why shouldn't we begin to look at genocide for what it really is? The greatest form of discrimination. A form of discrimination that you cannot survive, and a form of discrimination that which, if allowed to live, a nation should have to answer for. It's not a matter of time, it's a matter of principle. It's not a matter of one country, it's a matter of one world. We teach our children not to be bullies. We think it is perfectly okay to allow one country to still bully other countries with threats or payouts, so that the truth is withheld from their people. This is not any different from being a bully. We as a world need to stand for what is right, teach our children and theirs you cannot be a bully. The 1.5 million people who gave their life certainly deserve better. They should not die in vain. And their death, let us rise up and take a stand. And their sacrifice, let us build a new and better world. A world where this never happens again. For you do not need bullets to fight this war. You do not need guns to fight this war. All you need is to be armed with the truth. The truth will set you and this world free, free to charter a new and better direction, free to allow all people to reflect that we should not kill others because of their religious beliefs. Our enemy is not the truth, and if the enemy is the truth to some, why not free that truth, allow it to conquer our enemy? Once the world realizes the simple truth, enough will be enough, and countries will fall. No power is greater than God, and no truth can be hidden forever by man. Today, I stand before the world, just like St. Gregory stood before a nation. Today, I ask, no, I demand one thing of each of you. Let the truth set you free, and allow all people of the world to learn about our genocide, and by doing so, we may free the world from future occurrences. What we learned through this experience is that once presented with the facts, people clearly make up their minds quickly about genocide. On May 5th, Tawana gathered college professors, principals from all over the island, the media, and the Ministry of Education to watch the video conference. The Ministry of Education spoke about the Armenian genocide and how horrible it was. He also admitted he had not learned or studied about it before this conference. And now I say, stand up, take note. We are in our classroom changing the world. It may have started in our classroom, now it is spreading across the world. I leave you with 3 words. Speeches.
We're going to try and share our PowerPoint and talk about our PowerPoint before the questions. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Okay.
It'll just be a few minutes here.
I'm going to try to change somebody else's computer.
It's just going to take a little while. Go ahead. All right, can you see our PowerPoint all right? And we'll begin. The Armenian genocide, changing how we view our world with the future leaders of the world today. The Armenian Genocide Centennial, of course, was the video conference we held on May 5th of 2015 on the 100th anniversary of the Armenian genocide. It took place. Recognize it. The problem, On the 100th anniversary of the beginning of the Armenian Genocide, why is Turkey still denying this ever took place? Why should we as Americans care? And why is it important to the world to teach this was truly a genocide? Again, 100 years later, why is it important now? Well, how is history repeating itself when we selectively simply forget to remember? Speaking the truth, on May 5th, 2015, we held our international video conference to honor and recognize Armenian genocide, and pictured here is my partner, Joaquin Cruz. Ignorance is no excuse. Again, recognize the Armenian genocide.
Armenian genocide. We must not forget the tragedy nor downplay the genocide of the Armenians.
As Hillary Clinton said in 2008, our common morality and our nation's credibility as a voice for human rights challenge us to ensure that the Armenian genocide be recognized and remembered by the Congress and the President of the United States. By ignoring it, we're not stopping it. In fact, we are continuing it. Here's Hillary Clinton's words in January 2012. Recognition of the Armenian genocide by the US opens a door that is very dangerous one to go through. The Armenian genocide as an historical issue is not a political one. The truth is the best light to stop the lies, which is why we must bring out the Armenian genocide through the light, dispel the darkness of the lies about it. As Obama said in 2008, 2 years ago, I criticized the Secretary of State for the firing of US Ambassador to Armenia, John Evans, after he properly used the term genocide to describe Turkey's slaughter of thousands of Armenians starting in 1915. I shared with Secretary Condoleezza Rice my firmly held conviction that the Armenian genocide is not an allegation, a personal opinion, or a point of view, but rather a widely documented fact supported by an overwhelming body of historical evidence. The facts are undeniable. An official policy that calls on diplomats to distort the historical facts is an untenable policy. As a senator, I strongly support passing the Armenian Genocide Resolution, and as president, I will recognize the Armenian genocide. When that many people died, we ask you to remember them. As Obama said in 2015, now, I have consistently stated my own view of what occurred in 1915, and my view has not changed. However, the Pope and 25 other countries have called it genocide. In 2008, President Obama called it genocide. Well, why not call it genocide now? And now we go straight into Armenian genocide, our worldwide video conference that we held on May 5th. The program, the Centennial Genocide Commemoration Program, you can see that it was being an international program. It took place at different times all across the world, being with or across all corners of the globe. Different time zones represented that. You can see here pictured our Taiwan participants. They're very eager to learn as well as recognize Armenian genocide, learning about its how atrocious it was. There we have two of our prosecutors. On the left, picture my partner Joaquin Cruz, and on the right, Audrey Moctezuma.
Conference in action. This is not a historical debate, but a matter of fact. It is never too late to recognize the atrocities committed by the Turks.
Here an Armenians pictured inside the Genocide Museum in the conference room. Very honored to be shared with them, as well as Taiwan and Ukraine, the conference. Here we have a basically schedule of the conference in the first hour. Introduction we had by our coach, Michael Cunningham, as well as some participants that took place from Taiwan and Armenia. We also have here more participants listed from Taiwan. It was in the second hour we presented the program. You see there was a trial demonstration presented. We presented a case against Mehmet Talat Pasha, who ordered the extermination of the Armenians in 1915. We also received questions that were prepared by Taiwan, as well as our coach was the moderator of the debate, as you can see there. We spoke about why the denial of genocide is bad for our society. As well as in the third hour, took a virtual tour of the Armenian Genocide Museum, as well as some children from Armenia presented play and presentations. They gave some political speeches. We had a senator from there as well as give his regards and remarks to us. And they, of course, gave a very gracious thank you to us in the closing for the conference. We assert that we can no longer hide from the truth. It is a genocide, and that must be recognized by society. It's widely considered the first genocide of the 20th century. As Picture the Pope said, today too we are experiencing a sort of genocide created by the general and collective indifference. Our solution: we held a worldwide video conference on May 5th of 2015 and invited countries from all over 4 corners of the world to participate. We had guest speakers from Armenia. We had political leaders from Armenia, the United States, Taiwan, and the Ukraine. We explained that when you commit genocide to one, you commit genocide to all humanity. And we certainly made a difference because we allowed the truth to get to more people. With that, that ends our PowerPoint presentation as well as our speeches, and we are open to questions. Thank you so much for your time and consideration so far.
Thank you. I don't have any questions right now. I'm just making my notes. I have one. Why did you pick the countries of Taiwan and the Ukraine as far as the participation level?
Throughout our time of working with foreign countries with video conferencing, we've always had a very good relationship with schools in Ukraine as well as schools in Taiwan. Specifically, the events have been happening between Russia and Ukraine over the course of last year. It's been very comforting to know that we can talk about them, about the evils of society, evils of the world, and recognize them because they can better relate to them, such as Armenian genocide. As well as with Taiwan, it's a school that has a very advanced culture and very advanced system of learning. It rivals even the education we have here in the United States. For them to not be aware of the genocide and to have a sense of ignorance too, because they never heard it before, even the principals and of education there, we want to use them as a model to show that once you can learn about the genocide, that they could recognize that one, how horrible it was, and second, that it should certainly be recognized to validate the those who have suffered because of it.
With that said, just because I teach a lot of undergraduates and I've noticed a lot of our U.S. students who are not aware of the Armenian genocide, did you guys consider reaching out to schools in the United States?
Yeah, we did consider reaching out to schools in the United States. However, the schools in the United States have yet to recognize the Armenian massacre as a genocide, which is why we never learned about it today. And we did try to reach out, however, we did not receive much feedback as compared to having video conferences with Taiwan and the Ukraine, because they were unaware of it and we were able to educate them. And the administrator of education in Taiwan even said that there was going to be action to teach people in Taiwan about the Armenian genocide.
Those are being multiple time issues. In the United States, we have a widespread, almost universal sense of apathy towards Armenian genocide. Even those who are aware of it refuse to recognize it. You know, when and our quotes we gave for President Obama and Hillary Clinton at the forefront of their campaigns, they were talking about the Armenian genocide. Obama wanted to be the first president to recognize Armenian genocide. However, then when they've been elected, they've been received to higher positions in the political spectrum, they've chosen not to. A lot of people believe this reason is because the fear of how this impacts our relationship with Turkey. They could have a very negative repercussions. However, we've seen now that after going to this conference, even with countries who never heard of Armenian genocide, they've recognized that the truth has to be more important. The truth has to be the objective, because we can't hold the truth in our society. What kind of lesson does that teach our future generations? And what kind of light does that bring to the atrocities that happened to the Armenian genocide? I'm sorry, the Armenians who suffered from the genocide.
This is Chloe. I really appreciated all of the quotes that you had from leaders, and also I felt like you did a really good job of trying to give us an understanding of why people reject the idea of genocide and why that can be problematic. So I appreciate all of that. My question was about what your involvement was in organizing the video conference. So was it something that was already going to happen, or had your teacher organized it, or did you all really orchestrate that entirely? And trying to understand your role in setting that up and how you participated.
So it was certainly a very collaborative effort from many parties involved. It wasn't unilaterally my partner and I, as well as our coach, just working on it ourselves. Like I said, with the time issues as well as maybe many schools involved, it couldn't have been a single effort. But to put it, I think, more in context, the 100th anniversary of the Armenian Genocide, when once recognized, is going to happen this year. And we have the opportunity for the Armenian Genocide Museum to reach out to us, doing the relationship Mr. Cunningham has with them and different conferences we do throughout the year already. It was very appealing to us and wanted to not only include ourselves in the museum of Armenian Genocide, but other schools as well we consider to be very advanced, such as schools in Taiwan and Ukraine. So you can learn about genocide as well. So with that, we have to then work out different time combinations, different time zones, which is why we have to come to school at 4 in the morning to begin the conference for here at our school, but it would also be the time combination will work for those in Taiwan, as well as in Ukraine, as well as in Armenia. With that, we also had to do a lot of research, intensive research, and so in Taiwan particularly, never hearing about the Armenian genocide, they had to probably do the most research. They didn't be prepared to ask questions and on us about our speeches. To prepare speeches we had when we conducting an actual trial, in the trial phase of the case, and when we prosecuted the Mehmet Pasha, who ordered the killing of the Armenians, we see that that to be extensive brief writing and had to go to the legal spectrum and evaluating the crimes against humanity we could prepare him for. So a lot of research and organization in different parts, but we see it as a very collaborative effort between all the participants involved.
Thank you. And speaking of research, I noticed that you cited very prominent political figures. Did you find any, resources coming from maybe diaries or testimonials of people who were in the, who had family members who died during the genocide?
Yeah.
Any primary sources?
Yeah, we did have some primary sources in the Armenian conference we had. I cited the primary source of Ambassador Morgenthal's work with Armenia. He described very vividly the actions and behaviors of Muhammad Tal Pasha, the leader that organized the Armenian genocide, as he stated when he interviewed Muhammad Tal Pasha that he was very cold and distrusting of Armenians. He did not necessarily care for them, which is the first primary source, as well as we even researched letters Muhammad Tal Pasha had sent to his lieutenants and other leaders to orchestrate and conduct this genocide.
And of course, when we took a virtual tour of the Genocide Museum, there were a preponderance of sources presented to us, things we hadn't even seen or heard of before.
Awesome. Thank you. Do you have any questions for us?
Actually, we'd like to know, after informing of the Armenian genocide and after researching about it, again, it's not very heavily taught in our country or United States or really across the world. And really the first major genocide that's taught of the 20th century is maybe Ukrainian genocide. So I'm curious, in your generations or in the schools and students you work with, is Armenian genocide touted heavily by 20th century? Is it covered heavily in classes? Do you still recognize that apathy from students?
I do not believe so. Most of my students have no idea of the Armenian genocide. A lot of them are aware of the recent genocides in Africa, Sudan, and stuff like that, Uganda, but very few of them are in El Salvador and stuff like that, but very few of them are aware of Armenia.
Yeah, I would agree that I don't think it is taught in classes here in Texas. As a history major, I knew about it, but I think that we do have a long way to go.
maybe this is a follow-up question. Knowing that and bearing that in mind, do you think it definitely should be taught within our curriculum as we learn about other genocides and just learn about history as a whole throughout our classes?
Yes, definitely.
So thank you. That's very comforting for us to know. It means our efforts were worthwhile throughout this whole project we conducted.
Thank you.
Again, thank you so much for your time and consideration. And
We'll go ahead with our next one then.